Daddy, why does that lady have the same teddy bear as me? The small voice cut through the evening air like a whisper of something forgotten. 4-year-old Theo tugged at his father's sleeve, his brown eyes fixed on the young woman sitting against the brick wall, clutching a worn teddy bear identical to his own. Garrett Ashford froze mid-stride, his expensive Italian shoes stopping on the wet pavement. The CEO of Ashford Enterprises had walked past countless people on these streets, his mind always racing with mergers, acquisitions, numbers. But his son's words made something inside him pause. "Come on, Theo, we're late for dinner," Garrett said quietly, his hand gently pulling his son forward. But Theo didn't move. He stared at the young woman, blonde hair falling loose around tired eyes, her thin jacket doing little against the December cold. She looked up, and for a moment her gaze met Garrett's. There was something in those eyes, something that made his breath catch. "Daddy, wait!" Theo's voice trembled. He walked closer to the woman, his small teddy bear clutched in his arms. Are you sad?" The woman's lips trembled. She looked at the little boy with such tenderness that tears immediately filled her eyes. I used to have a little boy who asked me that same question," she whispered. Garrett's heart stopped. The voice, that voice. "Daddy, that's Mom!" The words hung in the cold air like shattered glass. Garrett's world tilted. He stepped closer, his legs weak, and looked at the woman, really looked at her. Beneath the exhaustion, beneath the years of hardship etched into her face, he saw her. Vivian. His Vivian. "No," he breathed. "Vivian, you died. They told me you died in the accident." Vivian's tears spilled over. "I didn't die, Garrett. I survived. But when I woke up in that hospital 3 states away, I had nothing. No ID, no memory for weeks. By the time I remembered, by the time I found my way back, you'd moved on. I saw you once from across the street, holding Theo. He was so small, and I thought you were better off without me, without the broken version of me." Garrett's hand shook. 5 years. 5 years he'd mourned her. 5 years he'd raised their son alone, telling him stories about the mother he thought he'd lost forever. "Better off?" His voice cracked. "Vivian, we needed you. Every single day we needed you." Theo didn't understand everything, but he understood enough. He walked to Vivian and pressed his teddy bear into her hands. "You can have mine, so you're not lonely." Vivian broke. She pulled Theo into her arms, sobbing into his small shoulder, holding him like she dreamed of doing for 5 endless years. "My sweet boy, my beautiful, beautiful boy." Garrett knelt beside them on the cold pavement, his suit forgotten, his walls crumbling. "Why didn't you come back? Why didn't you find us?" "I tried," Vivian whispered through tears. "I called your old number, disconnected. I went to our old apartment, new tenants. I didn't have money for a private investigator. I barely survived, Garrett. I cleaned floors, slept in shelters, tried to piece myself back together. And every day I convinced myself you and Theo were happier with the mess I'd become." Garrett's jaw tightened. "You're not a mess. You never were. You're the woman I loved, the woman I still—" He stopped, his voice breaking. "The woman I never stopped loving." Theo looked between them with his 4-year-old wisdom. "Are you going to come home now, Mommy? We have an extra room. Daddy said it was for guests, but I think it was for you." Something shifted in Garrett's jest. He'd kept that room untouched, Vivian's paintings still on the walls, her books still on the shelves. He'd told himself it was for closure, but the truth was simpler and more painful. He'd been waiting, always waiting. "Come home," Garrett said softly, his hand reaching for hers. "Please, let us help you. Let us be a family again." But Vivian pulled back, shame flooding her face. "I can't, Garrett. Look at me. I'm not the woman you married. I'm broken. I have nothing to offer you or Theo." "You're offering us everything," Garrett said steadily. "You're offering us you. That's all we ever needed." Vivian looked at Theo, at his innocent face full of hope, and then at Garrett, at the man who'd somehow kept loving her through grief and time. "I don't know how to be her again, the woman you remember." "Then don't be her," Garrett said gently. "Be who you are now. Let us know you again. Let us help you heal. We'll do it together." Over the following months, healing came slowly, like dawn after the longest night. Vivian moved into the guest room, her old studio. Garrett didn't rush her. He gave her space, time, patience. Theo became her gentle anchor, showing him his drawings, his favorite toys, telling him stories about his life. Gradually, Vivian began to paint again. Her work had changed, darker, deeper, haunted by loss, but also illuminated by survival. Garrett would find her in the studio at night, and he'd sit quietly, just being present, letting her know she wasn't alone. One evening, 6 months after that night on the street, Vivian found Garrett in the kitchen. Theo was asleep upstairs. "I need to tell you something," she said softly. "When I was out there, on those streets, I learned something about kindness, real kindness, the kind that doesn't ask for anything back. A woman named Ruth shared her shelter bed with me when I had nowhere to go. A man named Marcus gave me his winter coat when I was freezing. They had nothing, but they gave everything." Garrett listened, his heart aching. "I want to start a foundation," Vivian continued, "for people like I was, people who've lost everything but deserve another chance. Will you help me?" Garrett smiled, tears in his eyes. "I'd be honored." 2 years later, the Vivian Ashford Hope Foundation had helped over 300 people find housing, jobs, and dignity. Garrett had stepped back from some of his CEO responsibilities to spend more time with his family and the foundation. Theo, now 6, volunteered with his mother, handing out teddy bears to children in shelters. One evening, as they walked home together, all 3 of them, Theo looked up at his parents. "Daddy, I'm glad I stopped that day. I'm glad I saw Mommy." Garrett's throat tightened. He looked at Vivian, at the strength and grace she'd built from brokenness, and then at his son, whose innocent kindness had changed everything. "So am I, buddy. So am I." Vivian squeezed both their hands. Sometimes the people we walk past are the ones we need most, and sometimes the smallest voice reminds us to look back, to see, to remember that everyone deserves to be seen. Kindness isn't always convenient, it's not always comfortable, but it's always necessary. Sometimes it looks like a 4-year-old boy stopping to ask why someone is sad. Sometimes it's a second chance offered without judgment. Sometimes it's recognizing that the broken among us are often the strongest, and that everyone deserves to come home. When we choose to see people, really see them, we don't just change their lives, we change our own. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.